Hello, I'm Bernardo Rafael Pendleton. I'm a junior. Um, I'm junior level at the Texas A&M University of Kingsville. Um, Today I am presenting the digital system preservation proposal, so ensuring long-term data integrity and access. I am a history major, so um, keeping archives and files and everything history related is is of crucial importance for our department in order to ensure that history is kept. So things like manuscripts and physical, papers, if there's any damage, there's still always the hope of the digital preservation of those historical artifacts or documents. So to begin, we have the imperative for preservation. So digital assets are fragile without a proactive preservation system. Files face bit rot, the silent deterioration of storage media. So bit rot, the more scientific and technical term would be digital decay. So the dangers that these older files can face by being stored for years, decades even, are technological obsolescence, magnetic media decay, and format unreadability. So, um, for instance, if you were to own a PC that is running XP7 right now, that without the proper hardware, that might be somewhat slow, and files that are saved in that might even be corruptible, and that is because of things such as magnetic media decay and just format unreadability. Things over the course of years, like everything else, tend to tend to decay, tend to rot. So it's imperative that in order to preserve these assets digitally, that we take certain measures. So my methodology for my research was, for one, to go into standardized bodies. So the utilization of ISO 14721 or the OAIS model to establish the international standard for digital archive architecture. So we wanted to use the highest standard, um, of course, to preserve uh, these articles. And next was researching institutional guides, which I reference in my technical report, the Library of Congress. So the Library of Congress is government owned, and it's has recommended formats for 2025 to 2026 to select file types. So with the advance in technology, the upgrade in technology, this is obviously a call for updates in the way we format um, digitized assistance. So the Library of Congress, what it does is over time it sets new standards, new formats that you might want to use uh, in preserving file types and selecting which file types are the most optimal for preservation. Next are technical life cycles. So I consulted with the Digital Preservation Coalition to model risk assessment and data decay patterns. So like I had mentioned, digital archives and files face the risks of becoming old, just like anything physical. The digital files still they face that same age-old problem. So what the Digital Preservation Coalition does is it gives us ways in order to combat and mitigate those risks, those inevitable risks, but prolongs them nonetheless. So this is the conceptual model, the OAIS workflow. The Open Archival Information System provides the structural blueprint for our proposal, and it ensures a clear chain of custody from the producer to the archive and finally to the consumer. So step one is ingest, which is validation and virus checking. Make sure it's not corrupted, which is integral to the preservation process. Step two, archival storage, maintenance and fixity. So, of course, once stored, regular maintenance is required in order to maintain this the health uh, the health of these files. And step three is access, retrieval for the community. So, preserving these files, preserving documents, preserving history, it's not meant to just sit and wait for decades to be touched. It's meant to be used in order to be utilized by the community, by historians, by researchers, people of the like. And so here we have a model of that step-by-step process. And then here we have the metadata profile, minimum requirements. So here's a basic a table that a tangible table of these minimum requirements. So here we have identifier, title creator, date created, file format, checksum. So these are field names. We have the categories, descriptions, and the example entry. So these are the minimum requirements for a metadata profile for these archived files. Then we have risk assessment. Oop, how do I go back? Oh, heavens. Um, and then we have the mitigation strategy. So I'm not sure what happened there, but risk assessment. So over time, there was a graph there that you can probably go back for a little bit, and you can see there's a graph there. That's all that was on that slide is a graph basically saying over time, just like anything physical, you're going to get fragility. So this is a mitigation strategy for that. The 3-2-1 rule. You want 3 copies of that file. 3 copies. Maintain at least 3 independent copies of every archival package. 2 media types. Store on 2 different types of media, for example, SSD and magnetic tape. So you want them in 2 different types of media. And then finally, 1 off-site. At least 1 copy must be physically stored in a separate geographical location. So this is really just to make sure that whatever whatever building or whatever hard drive, wherever this digital file or document might be located, in case that somehow ends up damaged or in the crossfires of some sort of demolition, there's still the extra copies or those media types or that one document offsite that is still accessible to the community, that's still accessible to researchers, to historians, um, just to make sure that if something is destroyed, it's not destroyed forever. 'Cause like I mentioned, if we only rely on the paper sources, on documents, those can easily be burnt up. That's why we rewrite them, but we also have digitized files in order that they don't take up physical space. And so lastly is the system integrity and validation. So the power of checksums. So every file is assigned a digital fingerprint. So just like every human is assigned a fingerprint, whenever we go and we take our driver's licenses or anything of that sort, they have our fingerprint for background checks. So every file is similar. So by running monthly fixity checks, the system compares current hashes against original records. If even a single bit changes, we are alerted immediately. So again, this is to make sure that we are aware of every single change in that file because bit decay is inevitable and um, we do not have a way yet to prevent a file from being mortal. So by any means will we try and mitigate those risks. And the best way to do that is to have a constant maintained overlook of the health of all of these files. So to sum everything up, um, the proposal for this is essentially we have a a preserved archival system in our history department, um, that even if we do have one, which we most likely do, that it is maintained very regularly, having uh, at least monthly checks to ensure that nothing is damaged or decaying even faster than it should be, or nothing is corrupt and might spread, because many of these viruses, of course, like in the name, they can spread to other files and therefore lead to a whole wipeout, which leads to back to the 3-2-1 rule, keeping at least one copy off-site, somewhere where it cannot be touched by other corrupt data. So um, please let me know if you have any questions. Um, and thank you.